Hey, fourth graders, Mr. Bell here. How you doing? All right, you ready to start a new project? All right, here we go. In this project, you are going to design your own font, also known as typeface. It's a design of letters, a letter style. And you want your two letters that you choose to match. Notice how this L and this B match. They're both slanted. Here's another example. This L and B are more upright, but they're kind of fancy and curved. But they match. They look like they're from the same family. Just like these two look like they're from the same family. Let's look at some examples of fonts from front covers of books. Lots of great examples here. Some kind of, you see this a lot. Probably Times Roman style. And notice how it's very different from the lettering or the type style, the font used on the front of this book. Very different from each other. But these all look like they're from the same family. These all look like they're from the same family. They match. You want your two letters to match. That's a challenge. That's lettering. It's got little shadows behind it, but they all match. Star Wars. It's one style. Here's a totally different style down here. Looks all worn and some script style lettering, kind of fancy free. They all look like they're from the same family though. They all match. The end. Scaredy mouse. And it kind of looks like scary kind of lettering. Alright. Here's an example of what you're going to be doing. I chose block letters. You might choose bubble letters like you did last year and the year before for different projects. But notice how they match. They're the same height, just as wide as each other. These have green diagonal lines. These have green diagonal lines. These have little blue bubbles. These have little blue bubbles. Now the background you can design any way you want. It doesn't have to match. Like you could have 4 different designs back here. You could have a landscape back there with trees, or a mountain back there, or clouds all around, or flowers all around, or little footballs scattered everywhere. It doesn't matter how you do the background. The focus is on your font that you design, your typeface. Making sure the letters look like they're from the same family, that they match. Okay? So, that's what we're going to do. And let me show you how to start this out. So the first thing I do is I like to fold the paper up just a little bit, an inch or two at the bottom. And the same thing on this side. I try to make it about the same. Just a little bit. You want to leave a bunch of space in here for your letter. Open it up. Alright. The reason I folded it, and you want to fold it, is so it makes a little guideline right here that you can see. And you can sketch over it lightly if you want to, but I can see it well enough. Some people like to put a very light line on there. I'm going to erase that line later, so it's not going to stay, so don't bear down hard with your pencil. Alright, I'm going to use my initials. My first name's Alan, so I'm going to use an A. My last name's Bell, so I'm going to use a B. You can use any 2 letters you want. It doesn't have to be your initials. It could be the initials of your friend or someone from your family, or just 2 letters that you like. Right? But make sure they're 2 different letters. Alright, so here we go. The first thing, I've got to decide where my letters are going to go. I'm going to very lightly sketch out an A. Make sure you leave some space. You don't want them right next to each other because you're going to be making them bigger. And B. I'm going to try to make them about the same width. If there's any part of your letter you don't like, fix it now while you have a chance. I'm going to make this look a little different there. I didn't like the way it looked. It looked a little thin to me. So I'm going to go ahead and that's what the eraser's for. You might see me going a little fast on this project. I only have 15 minutes. So I'm going to have to erase through some parts probably, but You need to take your time when you work on this. Don't go too fast, all right? Okay, now I am going to start making the block letter. So come down here like this, a little bit below that line. You might not want to bear down too hard when you do this either. You might need to do some erasing and redrawing. Line it up. And however thick I make this, I'm going to make it about the same. Just trying to get them as similar as we can. And some letters have an inside part. Of course, the A and the B both do, so I have to do that part. There we go. And you can leave the line letter in there if you want to make it part of your design, or you can erase it. I'm going to erase it. Any little lines that I don't want in there, I'm getting rid of. Now I'm going to do the B. I want it to go as tall as this one, so I'm going to start about here. I'm going to stop about there, so it's the same. And alright, close enough, close enough. Bring this down a little bit. There we go. Even, close enough. Doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Don't worry making it perfect. Now I'm going to do the inside parts. And line it up. This part's a little bigger, so this part will be bigger. There we go. And now I can erase the inside parts of this. There we go. And I can get rid of these guidelines. You can leave them there if you want to. Maybe you want to make it part of your design. I don't know. I'm getting rid of mine. There we go. Okay. Now, eraser stuff. Okay. Now it's time for the design. And you just have to decide what you want yours to look like. You could put anything inside you want. Little flowers, little lines, AB pattern, ABC pattern, little footballs. Whatever you want to do to the inside, you can do the inside. You can see how on this one I have some diagonal lines and little circles. Okay? So all I did was this. Jump over, make sure they match up. Alright. Do one more right here. Which means I'll do the same thing on this side. Some diagonal lines, because I want them to match. This is a matching project. That's part of the challenge. You gotta look left, you gotta look right, you gotta make sure everything's right, that it matches. See anything you need to fix it now before you trace it. Okay, then I can start working on little circles that I had. Some big, some small, some medium. It's just what I decided to do on this project. You might have a totally different idea. Maybe you want to borrow some ideas from this. Maybe you want to make your letters camo. Maybe you want to put little baseballs. Maybe you want to make little flowers in there. Or maybe you want to do an ABCD pattern. It's really up to you. There we go. And I'm going to start working on the background now. Make a line go through here. I'm just doing some kind of abstract stuff. You can make your background realistic with trees and sun and whatever. You can put a rainbow back there if you want. It's up to your imagination. Put one here. Maybe one down here. It's a little empty. Keep it balanced. All right. Once you have that done, it is time to start tracing. And what colors you choose to trace it is up to you. If you don't have markers or your markers have run out, you can use crayon to trace all your lines too. I can use crayon. If you have markers, use markers. It's a lot easier. But crayons work just fine too. Alright. Again, you might not want to go as fast as I'm going. I'm trying to save time for the video. Don't want to run out of time. Pick the color for my background. Make these lines red. Don't go through your letters. Make sure they go behind. That part will go in there though, because that's an open part of the letter. There's a couple parts I didn't stay on very well, but I can just erase those little parts. And we got the inside. Make sure I'm doing all the diagonals green. If these are green, then those are green. If I make these circles blue, then I make these circles all blue. Let's fast forward a little bit and show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, I've got everything, all the blue circles traced blue, all the diagonal lines green, all these wiggly lines back here, these curvy lines red, black on the outline of the letters. And then the very last part is to color it. And I've already started coloring. I have to have a lot of this done already so I don't run out of time. I colored some light green crayon in there, some light blue and regular blue. I did use a marker and put some orange dashes there. And the last thing I'm doing is I'm coloring with yellow crayon on top of all of it to give it that finished look. And I'm almost done. Careful when you get to the corners. Put your paper down, just go like this. Pick it up, go off the corner. Don't try to go back, it'll go like that. You just want to pick it up and then you can put your finger there and hold it down. Or your thumb, whatever works best for you. For any parts that still need more coloring in, make it look as good as you can when you're coloring. Alright, see some white parts here that could be colored in a little bit, but I think all in all that's pretty good. About time to stop and put that little part. Give it a look, see if there's any parts you really need to get. Letters match. Background can be whatever you want. Color the whole thing and have fun with it. Can't wait to see the fonts, aka the typeface, that you all come up with. Make sure you take a picture of it, send it to my email, or you can upload it to Google Classroom. Alright, have fun. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.